Hey folks, this is Kelani. With patch 815 finally releasing this very next reset, that means this is the last week you're going to have to prepare for some of the exciting new things coming our way. We have updates to the heirloom system, new quest lines in the war campaign, a new time walking event, new mounts rewards, and all that other good stuff. But one thing that a lot of players have been waiting for far too long at this point is the addition of two new allied races. The Zandalari trolls and the Kulturan humans will finally be selling their souls to lending us their aid as they join the Horde and the Alliance. It's about time though, don't you think? How much have we sacrificed for these people and they still don't trust us until next week for some random arbitrary reason? That's a whole lot of effort to play as a beefy human or a gilded troll. But yes, you can finally play as one of these two allied races next Tuesday or Wednesday depending on where you are in the world. Well, you can play them if you have all of the requirements already finished. What's that? You didn't hear? Both of the new allied races have a handful of requirements to meet before you can play them. It's nothing too bothersome or time consuming, and thankfully you can get most of it done right now. In fact, this week specifically is an amazing time to catch up on anything you haven't finished for a few reasons. But let's have a look at those pesky requirements first. The first requirement is to complete your faction's main storylines. That would be the Zandalar Forever achievement on the Horde side, or the Nation United on the Alliance side. That's fairly easy if you haven't finished it yet. Just do all of the story quests in each zone and complete the little scenarios at the end. That should take you a few hours maximum if you haven't touched any of the zones at all, but I'm assuming most of you will already have this achievement by now. The second requirement for both allied races is to complete the Tides of Vengeance achievement, and this one is easy as well. All you have to do is work your way through the war campaign until you get the quest for the Battle of Dazar-Alor raid. You're going to have to do this anyway if you want to experience the new war campaign quests, so if it's not all up to date, go ahead and get that done. Again, a few hours of questing if you haven't touched it at all until now. But the main kicker for most people is going to be the reputation. You need to have an exalted reputation with the Zandalari Empire for the Zandalari trolls, not too surprising really if I'm honest with you, and then Kulturan humans will require exalted with the Proudmoore Admiralty. For some people that's months in the past. Doing world quests all day every day for the first 2 months would have gotten you exalted fairly easily, but not everyone is able to sit down and play from dawn till dusk, and world quests definitely aren't the most exciting form of content you can play, so it's understandable that you might have given up on them by now. But don't you worry, even if you're significantly behind on the reputations at this point, this week couldn't have lined up any better. The events going on right now might just be your ticket to catching up in record speed. So the first thing happening at the moment is the World Quest weekly event. During this event, every World Quest rewards an additional 50% reputation. You can't really ask for more of a boost right before these allied races go live, but the Dark Moon Fair is also in town this week. So if you pop on over to the Dark Moon Fair, catch a ride on the merry-go-round and get your super special Wii buff, that's an extra 10% reputation on top of the weekly World Quest event. These two bonuses working together bump up normal World Quest rewards to a crazy 120 rep per World Quest, and Tortollan World Quests a 280 rep per World Quest if you still need to grind reputation with the turtles, and that's without taking any extra rep rewards into account, which can end up being huge. Emissaries don't benefit from the 50% bonus, but they do benefit from the Dark Moon Fair boost, so that's 1650 rep per emissary done. So if you're just a few thousand reps short of exalted, you can get that done super quickly if there's an emissary or two active. Just knock out all of the world quests in Zuldazar for the Horde or Tiragard Sound for the Alliance as often as you can, including the pet battles and whatnot if you can stomach it, and you should be good to go. If you're struggling to motivate yourself to get this done, it might be worth mentioning that this specific lineup of the weekly World Quest event and the Dark Moon Fair isn't going to happen again for several months at the very least, if it happens again that soon, and you should know that any world quests you get done, or any reputation you earn right now, is worth quite a bit more effort than in any other week. It's actually lazy of you to get it done now instead of waiting for a later date, because it takes way less effort right now. I love when things line up like this and you can blast through a personal objective in record time simply because you earn so much more rep for every activity right now. Something else to keep an eye on for this week is the faction assaults. Sadly, they do hop around every zone, so they aren't incredibly reliable when it comes to farming for allied races rep, but you will still get some in Tiragard and Zuldazar to help with your allied race grind. There's currently one going on in Tiragard, which will help any alliance players right now, and Zuldazar was actually earlier today or yesterday, depending on when you're watching this, so we might have enough time for it to cycle round, but the other zones are still sometimes worth farming rep for. If these assaults do pop up in Tiragard and Zuldazar again, it means another round of world quests for rep farming specifically for that rep, but finishing the assault will also give you 550 rep for the zone you're in, which is definitely going to be useful if they do pop up in the right zones. To really top things off, you should go ahead and grab a contract from your required reputation. They're usually fairly cheap on the auction house, and you've probably forgotten they exist by now because they were all the hype when BfA first launched, and then they kind of fell off the radar. It might not be much, but it's going to add up if you're knocking out a lot of world quests, and it might just be what you need to finish your reps a little earlier. A contract could be the difference between being done and needing another 5 world quests. I know which path I would rather take. So this week is super fast for rep gains, which helps immensely if you're behind on the reps which are required for the allied races, but there's a few other rewards tied to reputations that you might want to stop and think about. One of the largest and longest parts of the Battle for Azeroth Pathfinder Part 1 achievement is the rep grind. You need all reps at Revered, and while plenty of people might have that done already, I know there's many more which just can't be bothered with rep grinding. Pathfinder Part 1 is the first section of a 2-part achievement. The second part will become available in patch 8.2, and when you earn that Pathfinder Part 2 achievement, you will be able to fly in Battle for Azeroth zones. No more running around on these filthy ground mounts. You can once again soar through the air on whichever mount happens to be your favourite, but you'll need part 1 to complete part 2, so you're going to need those reps no matter how you look at it, if you want to fly, that is. If you fancy pushing every reputation to Exalted, you can also get a few mounts for your trouble. The Hyena is still one of my favourite ground mounts right now because it looks so cool, so if you're a collector or you just like pretty things and nice mounts, completing just the emissaries would be a fantastic way to start working towards Exalted, and it's worth considerably more right now. If you think about it, just doing an emissary means you need to do 4 world quests, for most emissaries anyway, which is about 400 rep. Tie that on to the 1650 rep, and you're looking at over 2000 reputation just for finishing an emissary right now. Professions are tied quite closely to reputations in Battle for Azeroth as well. The vast majority of higher level recipes and crafts are locked behind a reputation grind, either to Revered or Exalted. These crafts can help you save materials and gold when leveling up your professions, and can help make them profitable in the long run. If you're thinking about changing professions to take advantage of some of the new tools of the trade coming in patch 8.15, it isn't a terrible idea to make sure you have the appropriate reputations already in place so you can make use of some of the high level recipes to level up your professions faster and cheaper. I'm actually starting to wish I had done a little bit more when it comes to farming reputation on my alts, because it's hard to max out their professions without spending a boatload of gold, and you can't really get everything out of a prof without the rep, but at least I can start catching up with a good boost this week. So, if you're behind on any rep in Battle for Azeroth, this week is the best week you're going to have in a long while to get those reputations up to snuff, and remember, it takes so much less effort right now when compared to any other week because of these 2 events lining up so nicely. Save yourself some time in the future and get it done now. Be sure to pick up the weekly event quest before you head out as well. Finishing 20 world quests might seem like a lot, and I know it doesn't reward any gear, so that might seem kind of pants, but 1k war resources can save you a bit of gold in the long run by helping to purchase seals, and you never know when they might introduce a new vendor or even update the mission board to actually be useful. It's a good idea to have a stockpile of resources for any such event, and if you're farming rep, then you're probably going to be doing lots of world quests anyway. Might as well get another reward for doing it. So if you've been putting off grinding reputation but you still want to play one of these allied races, or you want to fly eventually or pick up any other reputation related reward, this week is the best week to get off your butt and get that grinding done. It would be really disappointing if you looked at some reputations next week or even the week after and thought to yourself, man, I really wish I had done this in the super awesome rep grind week because now I have to do twice as many world quests. But anyway, I know what I'll be doing with most of my time outside of raids this week. Because I have been slacking until this point. Are you going to take advantage of this super rep grind weekly lineup? Are you already done with all of your allied race requirements? Or do you not really care about unlocking or playing the Zandalari trolls and Kulturan humans? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon. You can see their names floating by on screen. If you want to join these lovely guys and gals, you can find a link in the description below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.